Snake. Hey friends, God bless you. This is Pastor Nate. Prayerfully this video finds you well. You saw the topic. Better leave that snake alone. You know, many times we've told people over and over, and sometimes people just don't listen, and they have to learn the hard way. And then when they learn the hard way, they find themselves in a position where, a compromising position where they are hurt or they're in so much pain. But if they had listened to you, or if they have had exercised some level of judgment, they wouldn't have been caught in that situation. Listen, friends, real quickly, Proverbs 23:31-32 tells us that don't let wine fool you. I'm just kind of paraphrasing it. You can drink it. It feels good going down. It makes you feel good. And at the moment, you're kind of tipsy. And y'all know how you do when you get drink. When you drink and you start feeling good. Many people drink to take the edge off. It just does something for you. But at the end, it betrays you. Yes, it has you acting all out of character. When you get drunk, you start saying things that you normally wouldn't say. Some people say when you get drunk, your real feelings come out, right? You might just say some vile things to other people. It just has you acting out of character. And the scripture compares it to a snake in the same verse here, Proverbs 23:31-32. Those two verses talks about that, and it compares wine to a snake. Eventually it strikes you like a poisonous snake. And that's why the topic of this message is better leave that snake alone, right? So with the snake, everything seems good at first. It seems well, but they're getting you prepared. They're setting you up for the kill, because a snake is a snake. I don't care how he smiles. I don't care how he smells, how good he smells. I don't care how much he charms you. At the end of the day, he's still a snake. You may have heard the story. This man walking along, right, and there was a snake on the side of the road, and the snake said, "Won't you pick me up and carry you with me?" The man was kind of hesitant or whatever. I guess the man was thinking, hey, you're a snake, I'm not going to do that. But he should have gone with his first mind. Many of us should have gone with our first mind. You saw the signs there, but the snake had so much influence, like it did in the garden with Eve. He has so much influence, and he charmed you so much, you bought into his lie. So the man eventually picks the snake up and carries the snake wherever they were going. But to make a long story short, the snake bit the man. And the man said, "Why did you bite me?" And the snake said, "You knew I was a snake when you picked me up." Y'all, friends, let me tell you, many of these people that we deal with, I don't know if you know, like I said, sometimes you may know because the signs are there. Sometimes we think we can change people. We can't change people. God can change it. If God hadn't changed that snake spirit and delivered that snake spirit, you might want to take caution. You might want to be careful. Yes, so people will charm you. They will brag on you. They will tell you how wonderful you are, but in the end, they will betray you. Many of you have experienced that before, where you've trusted somebody, where you shared your deepest secret with someone. You thought you can trust that person, but then later on you heard your secret in the street, and you know that the only person you told was that one person, but they betrayed you. Yes, and many of you have helped others. You've reached out to others. You've been there for others. You've let others, you've given money. You've let people borrow money. You went and picked them up. You checked on them. You called them just to make sure they were all right. And they never did that to you, but you did all that. It was like in a relationship, you did more for them than they did for you. Yeah, we're not looking for tick-tack or whatever. We're not looking for you to pay me back everything that I do, you do back. We're not looking for that. But sometimes you would think common courtesy would say, you know what, my friend has done so much. This time, let me take you out to eat. This time, let me put gas in the car, But they never, ever do that and let you do all that stuff for them. And then let's just say months and months later, I got my notes, friend. Sorry, hold on. And months later, they'll tell you, once they betray you or once they do something to violate the trust, And you're like, what happened? I did all this for you, and you don't want to bring it up. But sometimes people will make you bring things up because they seem to have amnesia at the end of the day. You bent over backwards, you sacrifice, your family sacrifice to help this other person get on their feet. And then something happens, and you're like, what happened? All these things that, I did, and I reached out, and when I didn't have, I made a way so you can have. And you know what that person to tell you? I didn't tell you to do it. You did that on your own. Ooh, friend. Ooh, ooh. We can't do that. We can't fight like that. But we can't do that, Pastor Nate. We can't do that. Don't give that advice. Friend, get on your knees. I know you don't want to hear that right now because that was like a slap in the face, wasn't it? You did all that, and they tell you, I didn't ask you to do it. You did that on your own accord. Y'all know people like that? I'm sure you've experienced that. That was a snake. And you might say, well, Pastor Nate, how do I know? How do I recognize if it's a snake? First of all, use your judgment, right? And first of all, do not ignore those signs. And I'm going to give you a couple signs. I haven't taken classes. I don't have a degree in snakeology. I don't think that's a word, but you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm not skilled. I'm not trained in that area, but I am trained by way of experience. And experience is the best teacher. Let me tell you, here are some of the signs. They're very charming and they're very flattering. They always brag on you and kiss up to you, especially when they want something. So watch that. That's a sign. Watch that. When you do things, they never return the favor. You could take them out to eat, or you could take them to a movie, and you always picking up the tab. Or you can come pick them up, and they never offer you any money because they think you got it. Oh, she all right, he all right, he ain't worried about it. That's not, you don't know that. Don't assume. But they always do that. In many cases, this is not their first rodeo. They've done many people like this before. You just the new victim. Yes. So at the end of the day, then they'll give you that same slap in the face. I didn't tell you to do it. You did it on your own. No one put a gun to your face to say do it. So watch those signs, friend. And you might not know them that well, but you can just hear from the streets. Be careful. Be careful with that person. Don't get too close to them. Watch out for them, And everything is not gossip. Just because somebody say stay away from somebody, I don't mean that person is hating. You see the title of this exhortation. Better stay away from that snake. Better leave that snake alone. Some people will tell you because they've had experience with that person, and they'll tell you, look, been there, done that. And you think the person is gossiping or you think the person is being messy. Everybody ain't hating. Everybody ain't being messy. You might need to listen to somebody when they tell you. If everybody's telling you to watch out for that person, you need to, those red flags need to go up. You need to be careful because I made a video a couple weeks ago says everybody ain't lying. You remember when Mama and Big Ma and Medill say everybody ain't lying? Well, in this instance, everybody ain't lying. You might need to take others' advice. And yes, you can find out for yourself. I know a lot of people say, well, let me find out for myself. That's hearsay. And consider that though, right? Consider what they say. You don't have to just totally disassociate yourself, but be careful along the way and guard your heart. And watch for those signs, right? And if you see those signs, go ahead and take action, friend. Don't keep going along with that. You may have to back away or whatever, but don't put yourself in a compromising position where you get hurt, where you get struck at the end. Because if it is a snake in your life, a snake will bite you. Many of you have experienced that with what you thought or who you thought were close friends. Maybe you've experienced that with some of your family members. Yes. And of course, people on the job, right? Because it's so political in corporate America. You get that kind of behavior all the time. People are stepping on others and making others look bad so they can look good, right? So yeah, you better leave that snake alone. I'm telling you, because he will bite you. He will sting you. He will betray you. David said it like this here. I could have borne it if it were my enemies, but it was the people that we went in the temple together. We worshiped the Lord together. This is what David was saying. We sat at the table of brotherhood. We took sweet counsel together. Those the ones who betrayed me. Those were snakes. So a lot of times when you think people are close to you, everybody in your circle ain't close. Everybody in your circle don't mean you well. So you need to watch for those signs. Ask God to give you discernment so you can sniff it out like a hound dog. I tell God, Lord, open my eyes, open my ears so I can see. And in many cases, you don't even have to see through the Spirit. In many cases, you can go by experience because you've been betrayed before. So if you see those signs in other people that comes after the situation, then you should be aware. Those antennas should go up, friend. Yes. Again, friend, prayerfully this video finds you well. I pray that this exhortation blessed you. Thank you for coming to the channel. Thank you for watching the video. And just remember, leave that snake alone. Because if not, he gonna bite you. Pastor Nate is sounding an alarm. I don't try to break up relationships. I'm not trying to cause confusion with your best friend or whoever. I just don't want you looking like an idiot. Yeah, I don't want you looking like a fool. You're friendly, friend. You're nice. You're loving. I don't want them to take that kindness and just abuse you and use you and just step all over you. That's why I'm sounding the alarm. I'm not trying to break up the friendship. I'm not trying to cause confusion. I'm just trying to protect you, friend. Listen. Watch out for those signs. Be at peace, not in pieces. Till next time, my friend.